Jason. Welcome back to Leading is Serving.
What's going on, Chris?
Oh, not a whole lot. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah? Were you able to enjoy hanging out with Mom?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Yeah, our Mother's Day traditions have changed over the years, but yeah, the kids are getting older, so it just kind of shifts things a little bit.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Yeah. That tension of, do I text my kids and say, "Hey, don't forget Mother's Day"?
Yeah, don't forget to text her, call your
Or
mom.
I'm like, you're kind of grown,
Right.
so you can reap the consequences if you want.
Hey, if I give you my number, will you text me too from now on?
No.
Make sure you call your mom.
No. No. I mean, last episode we talked about the supportive leader. I will not support you.
On Jason.
I'm going to be the dominating leader and take care of yourself, Chris. Which we're going to talk about more here in a
You're
bit,
no
but
fun.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I need somebody to. Oh, I was listening to a podcast. Squirrel,
Right.
we listen to podcasts around here, and they're talking about some business ideas they'd love to see come to fruition. It's
Okay.
like the side hustle. Oh, Pat Flynn's. No, not Pat Flynn, the side hustle guy. Anyway, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Right.
But they're talking about just different business ideas. And one of them is an accountability service that
No
you
way.
tell them, here's what I want to have done in the future,
Yeah.
and you hold me accountable.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So that could be Mother's Day, or it could just be, hey, did you return all your calls today? Yeah.
I think I'm just going to have my assistant help me.
Did you work out today, Chris?
No.
Did you eat healthy?
No.
No.
I'm getting closer though.
I know.
It's coming
But,
around.
Yeah. I mean, imagine a paid service that you have somebody kind of like your personal trainer. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out here there.
Yes.
If you're listening, and if you're listening to this going, oh, crud, I forgot.
It's never too late.
Better late than never.
Right. Go ahead and just hit pause and
Yeah.
call your mom.
When you find a bouquet of flowers or a present that you're going to buy, whatever it is, just double it and then double it again.
It'll be
and then
good.
go. No, seriously, we are thankful for all the moms out there, because there's a lot of moms that are, doing the entrepreneur and
For sure.
managing families, and husbands. I mean, the husbands are almost there, the kids.
Oh, right.
That's right. And, y'all do a great job. And so hang in there, stay strong.
So what are we talking about? I know we've started this mini-series, and I'm kind of curious about what this next one is.
Okay.
Because
So
I'm trying to figure out what the super negative tendencies are.
we talked about the protective leader last week.
Right.
Right. Of being so supportive, super relational, that
Yeah.
eventually it turns into Jekyll and Hyde, right?
Right.
Okay. Today we're going across the map on this one
Okay.
to somebody who is not great at the relational encouragement side of things,
Okay.
but they're really good at expectation, deadline, challenge.
Mm.
Like, hey, here's where the business is going. Here's where we're going. I need you to step up. You get it done. And if you don't get it done, there will be consequences.
Mm.
Okay. That's an incredibly valuable skill
Mm-hmm.
in the business world as a leader.
Yeah.
Okay. And the trick is that we find a healthy balance of both that and the protective side. Okay.
Okay.
But this dominating leader is someone who really just kind of drives their people, drives their team into the ground, that it becomes this
Just cranking
negative
them.
side. Yeah. Like there is no relational aspect of, hey, I believe in you. It's just, you're here to serve the needs of the business and my needs, and whatever I need, whatever I say goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so it becomes this dominating culture, dominating team environment where people end up just kind of being like, I don't want to work for this anymore. I don't want to be a part. Or if they
Right.
are stuck in this team or stuck in this role, that they start kind of figuring out ways to do just enough to keep you off their back.
Mm-hmm. Just to get by.
Like what's the safe amount that, because I don't want to go so far that you're like, oh, you could do all that. Well, I'm going to give you more next quarter.
Right.
You don't want to go that far,
Right.
but you don't want to, you want to fly under the radar. You don't want to tick them off.
Right.
So what is that happy medium that I can get just enough done, but not too much,
Mm-hmm.
so that he or she stays off my back? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so there's just this culture of mistrust of like, what am I running into today?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to have the, somewhat supportive, I'm getting it done. Hey, good job on that.
Mm-hmm.
They may or may not even come back around and say good job.
Yeah.
They might just say, hey, the team hit this, blah, 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 done, move on. There might not be any recap or celebration.
Yeah.
In the worst cultures of that. And so again,
is there one of the 5 voices that kind of hits this? Has it kind of runs along this line?
Well, sure. I mean,
like I'm just curious.
No, absolutely. I mean, like last week we said that we all have tendencies as a leader to fall to one side or the other on this.
Right.
Okay. And in general, and this is not 100%.
No, yeah, for sure.
But in general, you're going to find like nurturers and connectors are going to be really great at the supporting side that we talked about last week.
Right.
Because those are your relational voices. On the other side, the task-driven voices, your pioneer and your guardian.
I was wondering if those are kind of had a connection point.
Right. Because guardians really care about getting everything done.
Right. They're trying to check the list off.
Right. They want to make sure that we are valuing every step along the way, getting it done and moving forward.
Right.
Pioneers value that competence factor of we are going to win the day and you're on the team because I believe in you. I may never tell you.
Right.
But I believe in you.
I told you when you showed up because I hired you.
Right. I hired you is all you need.
Right. You're on the team.
Right. So yeah, absolutely. There, the voices can kind of lean one way or the other. And the creatives, that 5th voice, there's a creative pioneer voice that will probably lean more like to the challenge side, to that dominating side. But your creative connector nurturer blend is going to lean more to the relational, the supportive side. Okay. So the creatives kind of can go both ways. But again, it's not one for one.
Yeah, I was going to say this isn't perfect, but these voices have, like the guardian pioneer voices, have a tendency to lean towards
because
the checklist.
I know 2 pioneer leaders that I had no clue were pioneers.
Really?
Yeah. That they have learned to kind of push that dominating aspect of their tendencies aside.
Really?
Because I think they've had some nurturers kind of slap them around a little bit going, you're being kind of crappy right now.
Right.
And you're sucking at life. So let's get this under control here, which kudos to those nurturers for standing up to a pioneer. Oh my goodness.
Right. Well, kudos to the pioneer to listen to the nurturer. I mean, there's a dynamic there.
Right. And so, yeah, we're going to lean one way or the other. And this dominating leader, it's probably easy to pick these out in our past that we've worked for somebody like this, or we've worked across the table, on the same team with people that even in the team, even though you're a co-equal on the team, position wise in the company, they still dominate the team. And you're like, where does that come from? And so it can really create this lack of belonging, create this, again, a culture of fear of like, what is happening? Am I safe?
Right.
Because I may, with the supportive leader, with that protective leader, you might not know which step is going to cost you your job. Right. It's an unknown, but it's very known with the dominating leader. If I don't make my numbers, if I don't get this done, I'm on the chopping block. I know it. And so they're doing it just to get it done to your satisfaction, not done for what is really needed in the organization. Does that make sense?
For the greater good of the organization.
Right. This is what's going to make them happy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it this way. Even, and so they end up kind of mimicking that dominating leader to an extent.
Right. So they're burning, and they're probably burning people out, right? I mean, that's what I think of.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you're burning and turning. Like it's just a matter of, if you don't like it, then, move on and I'll find somebody else to fill the seat.
Right. And so you lose effectiveness, you lose efficiency as a team because of the turnover. That you're just burning and churning through people going, well, if you can't get the job done, I will find somebody who will.
Right.
And because of that turnover, you can never develop momentum. You can never develop that speed and efficiency of getting things done.
Yeah. Because you're always having to retrain.
Right. Where on the other side, that protective leader, we didn't really mention this last time, is that the efficiency really drops because it's all about the relationship. And so you just move at a slower pace because the expectations and the clarity is not there. Okay. So, yeah, I mean,
that's interesting.
I mean, an unhealthy protector jumps to the other side of the map and becomes a dominator when their expectations aren't met. Okay. Remember, I think I told a story about my son and, I just kind of went Jekyll and Hyde. It's because I went from protective to dominate because, but a dominating leader, when they just get to the point of like, hey, we're not going to get there. This team sucks. I don't know what I'm doing. We'll never succeed. They move toward the abdicating leader role, which is what we're going to talk about next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of facets to this.
There is.
And I mean, just trying to figure out what role you are and what's the best way to come about thinking about it.
And remember in this that your tendencies as a leader, whether it's protective or dominating, are hugely valuable to your team and your organization. As a dominating leader, okay, you can take that too far and become dominating.
Right.
But like we're going to talk about here in the coming weeks, is having that balance of healthy support and healthy challenge, of having that ability to make clear expectations of like, hey, Chris, here's the project we're working on. Here's our milestones along the way. Here's our deadlines. I believe you can get this done.
Right.
I trust your competence. I trust in your ability. We can get this done. I'll be checking in with you along the way, making sure you have everything you need. So having that ability to make those very clear expectations is incredibly valuable. But if that's all we do, we take it into an unhealthy realm. Does that make sense?
Totally.
And so please don't hear that in hearing your tendency is like, well, that's a bad tendency. I've got to change. No. You've got to harness your gold, your talent, your ability in a healthy manner, and learn to harness the other side as well. And lean into that.
Right. Yeah. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I think that we need to make sure that we understand that, too much of one of these tendencies creates different problems instead of keeping a balance of, okay, that is great, but make sure that you don't lose sight of this over here.
Right.
But at the same time, you don't want to go completely left, completely right, because you're dominating versus relational, and then you've created a problem, whether you're all relational and no thinking about the goals of the company, like you were saying, like it just, even on relational side of things, everything moves so slow. I was glad you mentioned that, because then everything is lost sight of what the bigger picture is. Well, we're not here to make friends, folks. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're there to get a job done together as a team. So the relationship is naturally there because you're part of the crew that's doing it.
Right.
But at the same time, telling them just to go get it and knock it out, it's just not always the answer either.
I mean, it's very much a pendulum from, the two extremes. If we sit on either extreme, it's going to be unhealthy eventually.
Right.
And
so I'm
finding
sure
that balance in the middle.
Would you agree? Two employees standing next to each other could potentially react to either one of those positions, whether it's relationship or the dominance or the goal effectiveness, right?
100%.
They're going to both react to it differently.
Right.
So not only are you trying to deal with your own problems, trying to figure out where you lean towards, right? And trying to balance that out, but now you're also trying to figure out how they're receiving it. Right. So now to try to create to the position of fighting for the highest good of the people that we're working with, I have to figure out try to effectively communicate it, and then figure out how they're receiving it, because they have a tendency as well.
Right. You're hitting on it 100%.
Like, I'm spent.
I know. And, we're barely, 14 and a half minutes into the podcast. You just solved the entire problem. Right. Because even as leaders, we have that tendency to fall one side or the other.
Right.
But so do your people. And so if you think about the person who leans toward challenge, they also want that from their leaders.
The relational side.
No, I mean, if you lean toward challenge, and that's more your tendency of, I like challenge, that's what you want from your leader. And so someone who leans towards challenge is on a team with a protective leader, and be like, what am I supposed to be doing? What are we getting done here? We're just one big happy family, in air quotes, right?
Right.
And they're going to be frustrated because they're not challenged.
Yeah.
Okay. And vice versa. If you lean toward relationship and you're in a dominating culture, you're just going to want out.
Yeah. Because then you just feel like a number.
Right. Like, this is worthless. Yeah. I want to go somewhere that I matter.
Right.
You know?
I'm at, where I'm like effective. And like, I was just reading an article talking about the different generational things.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was like the baby boomers. They're all about working hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then there's our generation who are trying to effectively balance out work life and home life.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the next generation. They want to be effective, and whatever they do, they want a purpose behind it.
Yes.
And there's a group in between us, I think. I can't think of what it is.
Millennials are between. Yeah.
The millennials. And I can't remember what theirs was.
Mm.
But I was like, oh my goodness. Like, it's so true, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything. But then you take these 5 voices and you put it on any one of those people in that thing, and you add that caveat to it.
Right.
It's
Right.
like, it's just, I struggle to effectively communicate what I'm thinking, let alone taking on those other parameters
Mm-hmm.
and trying to be. So like, there's days, I'm not even joking, Jason. Like, there's days where I'm like, there's no way I can be a good leader today. Like, it's
Right.
just not going to work.
I know.
It's not going to work.
100%.
It's like,
Same here, man.
I am completely missing the boat.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you. 100%
And I mean,
on that.
I probably lean, and I probably don't lean to the dominant side until I probably get frustrated, like we were
Yes.
talking about last week. And
Right.
I was like, okay, we need to find the happy medium here between the
Right.
two of these.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. Our tendencies of understanding, okay, here's where I lean, and then recognizing when we're crossing that line right before we step over it rather than after it.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
right.
Of being able to understand our tendencies better and see that coming in advance rather than
Mhm.
before it's too late.
Yeah,
when
and
it's too late.
And I, to that point, right? I think that at some level, we also need to be able to go, I stepped over the line. I'm sorry.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, hey, just so you know, this is what I was trying to get to. I apologize that,
Right.
I got a little frustrated with the situation.
Yeah.
I had this happen not too long ago, and I apologized to my guys because I was like, you know what? I don't know. My team actually recognized that I was frustrated,
Mhm.
and unintentionally I lashed out at some things.
Right.
And so I had to go back and fix it. And I felt bad about it because I was like, there's no better way to cure this problem except to just go and be real with them. And
Yeah.
that's what I did.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm trying, I swear.
If you're on the protective side going, I thought I had made that clear,
Right.
check your communication.
Yeah.
And if you're on the dominating side going, I thought they wanted to win,
Mm-hmm.
check your relational side.
Yeah.
Because something's amiss.
Crazy part is like, I have a psychology degree, and I
Mhm.
thought, oh, that'll help me communicate more effectively with people, right?
Right.
Not a clue. No. And then the coaching that we've done and the coaching I've done with other people,
Mhm.
like I keep thinking, oh, at some point I'm going to be able to communicate more effectively. Yeah, I'm still struggling with the same thing. I mean, I've got more tools in my tool belt.
Right.
So I can probably I would say I'm probably communicate a little bit better than I originally could when I was like a teenager. Right. But I would still say
we're better.
Yeah, I would
But
still
it's
say
not
like
a switch we flip.
95% of my problem each day is communicating effectively.
Right.
And it's like, wow, this is fun.
Keeps life interesting, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to wrap up.
Yeah.
You guys, if you're out there going, yeah, I think I'm a dominating leader, hang in there because we're going to start talking about the liberating leader soon, of how you can balance that support and challenge in your life and really become a leader that's worth following.
Yeah.
And so you guys jump over to the leadingandserving.com website.
Leave us a review and send us a note, whether email or voicemail.
Yeah. And you can still jump over to uncommonsnetwork.com and sign up for a peer-to-peer mentoring group and join the Uncommons membership there. So
yeah, looking forward.
We would love to have you.
Yeah.
You guys have a great day.
Hey, enjoy.
Go out there and lead and serve.
For sure. Yeah.
Let's do it. Fight for the highest good of others.